In this video tutorial, we'll be looking at how to use panoramic movies in VDMX. The footage that I've shot for today uses the dot camera, which is a little attachment for the iPhone camera, which lets you shoot in 3D panoramas, or 360 panoramas rather. So switching over to VDMX, I'm going to start with a new project, and I've got some very quick dots that I shot this morning. And the first thing I'm going to do is you can see that my thumbnails in my media bin are kind of, they don't use up all the space, so I'm going to want to go into my options and change the aspect ratio so that it works with these super wide clips. And I'll also make it so that we don't auto size in the media bin so that we can get some much bigger thumbnails of these clips. Okay, and we can see what's going on in each one of them. And if I now trigger one of them, so this clip of me walking around at just the park, you can see that it's playing back this clip, which is 1370 wide by 242 pixels wide, and my canvas size is 1920 by 1080. So what I'm going to want to do so that I can make this crop is switch this into fill mode, and now it'll fill up the whole section of the screen. And if I use the X position slider, I can move around. If I switch this into on-screen mode, I can force it to stay within the range of the pixels. But actually, if, what I'm going to want to do is not use the on-screen mode, but I'm going to open up the effects window for this layer. And under distortion effect, I'm going to use the, under geometry adjustment, I'm going to use the frame hold manual effect. And this lets me shift up and down. And additionally, it's going to let me do a perfect seamless wrap with this. So if I were to sync this to the measure position, now it loops around perfectly once every measure, and the measure is based using the clock plugin right now, so it's at a 120 BPM. Additionally, if I wanted to also, instead of using the clock position, I could use just the normalized time off of the movie, so that for every time that the movie goes around once, you could see that the time slider, as it moves along, is driving the frame hold. And if I were to scrub backwards in time, it would automatically move the X position slider. And also I can disable this and have free control over it so that as we're playing back through the movie, I can also control where we're looking at. And I can also then just click on a slider and do a MIDI detect, which can be useful. So now I can use a MIDI controller to adjust my time position. And along those lines, for my X position slider, I might want to use a knob to control this. So now I can scrub through time and adjust it completely from my MIDI controller, which is a lot of fun to do for remixing and having real-time control over my camera. And I can also add a second layer in here. In fact, instead of adding a second layer, I'm going to click on the first layer and use the duplicate selected layer option, which will give me a frame hold manual effect automatically on my second layer. Although what I might want to do for that is switch it so that it's using a different MIDI controller. So I can just do MIDI detect on that. And likewise, I can do the same thing for my time slider on this other movie. Do a MIDI detect, and now I can control each one of these independently for scrubbing through time and adjusting the camera angle. And you can see that they're both currently playing the same movie, but I can also go into my media bin and switch it so that I'm playing back two different files. And if I wanted to, I could add in a two-channel mixer plugin and set it to layer 1 and layer 2. And now instead of having both of the movies completely overlaid on top of each other, I could fade back and forth between my two panoramas. We can also play with the blend modes for them so that they don't have just a simple overlay. We can do something more interesting like a difference blend mode. And for this I might want to adjust my curves for my mixer so that in the middle they both are at 100%. Yeah, that doesn't look so great. Anyway, you can do a lot of different things with blend modes there, or you can fade between things. And finally, let's see, one more trick that we can do here We'll probably want to add a preview window in here so that we can see what's going on. We can preview either of these layers, so I can just choose layer 1, resize it so that it shows me everything that's going on there within the full view. And right now I have this set so that it's going for a single HD output, 1920 by 1080. But actually, if I go into my full screen output options right now, you can see that I have three displays connected. So I can actually turn on these two external displays. I'm running off of a Retina MacBook Pro. And since I'm using two screens, I'm going to want to set this to 3840 wide. And now, stretched across two of these screens, and I can still crossfade between them, these clips, and you can see that it's taking up a lot more of space. You know, I'm not cropping as much of the space, but I still have quite a bit of room for rotating around. So that's just a few things that you can do with panoramic clips in VDMX, and hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks for watching.